studio with more on this. So first of all, let's detail which documentation that we've secured. I see the cargo manifest. You have the bill of lading.
Certificate of quantity, and I have the bill of lading.
Yes, okay. So let's go through that. Do we know who the shipper of the crude is?
Yes, we know. We know that the shipper is Bellatrix Energy Limited. So the address is Central Hong Kong. That's where the shipper is.
Okay, and that's an important one. And then yesterday, when we got information, we were asking the question. So, who or which entity brought the cargo in? We knew the entity, but we decided to withhold the name.
Sure.
But now we have official documentation. So, can we confirm which entity brought the cargo in?
So it's same as we knew yesterday, but decided not to mention it because we wanted to cross-check certain things. It's Platin Gas Oil Ghana Limited, and it's at the heavy industrial area, Tema, Ghana. That's where they are, and that's the company, the name of the company that brought in this product, Platin Gas Oil Ghana Limited.
Okay, and the most important, I guess, fact in this document is the port of loading, which this document also now tells us.
Okay.
What is that? What is it that
the
we
port
see
of
on the
loading
document?
is Aktau, Kazakhstan. The vessel is MT Theseus. So that's it. Now it's confirmed that indeed it's not coming from Russia, but it's coming from Aktau in Kazakhstan.
Okay, and that's the port of loading.
Loading, yes.
And if you check Aktau, Aktau is located on the eastern shore of the Caspian Sea. And it's one of those areas very well known for its transportation, but also very importantly is its port activity. And at one point it was once the site of a nuclear power plant.
Okay.
But has international airport as well. But in that particular part of Kazakhstan, the increasing importance of Aktau's port with changes in international export policy, it has now been attempting to halt the transit of grain, and we know that grain has become a key issue. Even the U.S. says Africans can do trade with Russia when it comes to grains. But they've been attempting to halt the transit of grain through the Black Sea, and instead use routes over the Caspian or via Turkmenistan. Now, Aktau's port has been expanding, though, and that's why many ships find it to be a very conducive place to load cargo. So we know now
because this vessel will be very big,
and
it depends on the depth.
So that's what we know. So that's a very important information that the port of loading is Aktau, Kazakhstan. There are many who saw the Bloomberg story and thought that the port of loading was Russia. I mean, this confirms it was in Kazakhstan.
Sure.
Indeed. And for me, it's important to also authenticate this story. If you're looking at the shipping documentation, you're looking at, has it got a formal stamp? Is it signed? Has it got a captain? Who is the captain? What do we know about that?
So it's formally signed by the Theseus. It has the Theseus stamp on it, and then the name of the captain is Captain Rakesh Ganesh Guma. That's the name of the captain. Captain Rakesh Ganesh Guma. That's the name of the captain. And it's dated. We need to bring it.
The date is important. What's the date?
It's dated 25th January 2023.
So which means that this ship has been on the seas for well over a month.
Yes,
Okay.
over a month.
Did he make a declaration?
He did. He says that I, the undersigned Captain Rakesh Ganesh Kuma, the master of MT Theseus, certified to have received from Aktau, Kazakhstan, the following document in connection with the shipment of the fuel that it bringing.
Which documents are these?
So it says that it comes with a bill of lading, giving the name of the consignee, the name of the shipper, as we've mentioned, Bellatrix Energy Limited being the shipper, which is located on 1 on Hink Terrace, Central Hong Kong. Platin Gas Oil Ghana Limited being the consignee, located in heavy industrial area Tema, Ghana. The port of lading is Aktau, Kazakhstan. The vessel is MT Theseus, and those are it. Now, when it comes to other document that the captain says it received, we have bill of lading, we have cargo manifest, certificate of quantity, certificate of quality, and then the crew list and master's receipt, all dated 25th January 2023. And it has the stamp of the Theseus, vessel.
And I have the cargo manifest in front of me that details the cargo it was carrying. The cargo, there's crude oil, and the specifics is 79,804 metric tons, and in cubic meters, we're talking about 94,075 cubic meters of product, and it says clean on board, which means that it was received in good condition when it came in. And talking about that, we also have a copy. Yesterday we reported that Tamale Oil Refinery was expected to take delivery of this. Well, the sources at the MPA insist that because of the issues around this, the crude oil in this vessel, they've not discharged it yet.
Okay.
And we have a copy of the Tamale Oil Refinery. And yesterday we also said that there was a
QC, that's a quality control person.
Yes. That our checks with TOR had indicated that an internal notice that was sent to the TOR staff to alert them that the cargo has arrived, also told them that a quality control officer was already on board assessing the product. And indeed, we have a copy of this document, the quality control certificate of analysis, an official document signed by the quality control manager at the Tamale Oil Refinery, who looked into this. And the dates are interesting. So the samples were taken on the 24th of February, which is Friday. Then they analyzed the samples on Saturday.
Okay.
The
following day.
On Saturday, and the purpose was import. It's stated on the face of the document, and the client is Platon Gas Oil Ghana Limited. So as of Sunday, they finished with the analysis. As of Saturday, they finished with analysis. I mean, so the ship would have sat at the Tema Harbor for Sunday after those analysis, because it came on Friday, right? So Sunday. That was yesterday, was Tuesday, and then Monday. The MP officials will tell us that they haven't discharged the product yet.
It's still in there.
They insist that it's still in there. So that's what we have, confirming that yes, this cargo is here
in Ghana.
But the port of loading, which appears to be one of the key things that has come up.
Bloomberg used, because it says that from its tracking data.
Yes, I mean, tracking data shows that it came from the Black Sea.
Yeah.
They didn't tell us the exact port, but now the port of loading has been indicated as Kazakhstan, and we told you about that particular city in Kazakhstan where it came from, Aktau. So that's what we know so far, and many of you have been asking a lot of questions. We've been trying to get the answers for you. I want to bring in a man who has been following this very closely as well, Nanam Moisi, who is he heads the Institute for Energy Security. He himself and his agency, they've been looking at this and tracking also. Thank you very much, Nana, for your time here on Top Story. Great. Pardon me, I seem to have a challenge. Can you see if you could reposition yourself again, Nana?
Is it okay, Ivan?
It is.
Can you hear me?
It is. Now we know the port of loading. That it is Aktau in Kazakhstan. Yesterday you had dug into this already, and had told us quite a bit on radio about this particular product. Now that we have all these documentations, the TOR analysis, its port of loading, I wonder what else you read into all this. Does it settle that controversy around the origin? That's a key point, and also where the crude was coming from.
All right, Ivan. Yesterday, you will appreciate that the IES didn't say that the crude came from Russia. We were only following the Bloomberg report, which said that the crude is coming from Russia. And so we started tailing it, and also the sequence of events in Ghana. And we were clear when we spoke to you yesterday. We made it clear to you that the cargo has not been discharged. It is true the cargo has not been discharged. We got the indication this morning that the cargo is coming from Kazakhstan. And our team and partners outside the country are still trying to ascertain the veracity of this claim. You can have a bill of lading in your hand, but then you have to verify and authenticate it, because every day you can find many bill of lading flying around, of which many end up to be false, a false document. And so we are trying to confirm that. That is one. Number two, Evans, the country that's been named now, it's very close to Russia. So our team is trying to look at the pipeline connection or any form of transmission connection between the two countries. Could it be that the product is for Russia, pumped to Kazakhstan, so that a vessel can load? These are very important things that we should not miss. So we are looking at it. If it's confirmed that the product comes from Russia, then, of course, we'll ask the president to send it away. Because if you look at the president's posture, it does signal clearly that we don't align to Russia or any element around Russia. We don't patronize them. So if it ends up that the cargo is coming from Russia, then on grounds of principles and for consistency, it must be sent away. But if it ends up coming from Kazakhstan, we still have issues and questions that need to be answered. The last time the Bloomberg reporter spoke to the MPA boss and raised the signal, it was clear that they are not expecting a cargo. Should it come from Russia, they will send it off. They also mentioned the role of the MPA planning team, where they, as part of their responsibilities, they develop LACAN. These are windows of opportunities prepared in advance to receive cargoes. So you know that this first quarter, between this period and this day, we are receiving, we are expecting diesel or petrol or crude oil. The MPA boss couldn't state clearly that we are not expecting any crude oil vessel from Russia. We are rather expecting it from Kazakhstan. And so a cargo needs to come within this window, and the importer or the receiver will be Platon, Gas Oil Limited. And so you see that if we have to receive this cargo, then it's being received on best effort basis, but not planned cargo to be received. The next thing is the size of the cargo, Ivan. If you look at last year, what Platon distributed to the Ghanaian market was only 2,839 metric tons of residual fuel oil and diesel combined. That gives it 0.07% of the market share for last year. Because the last year, the country consumed 4.22 million metric tons. So this is the size of Platon. To receive 80,000 metric tons of cargo, it's way beyond their size. It's never happened before. The biggest parcel we have cited for Platon is less than 10,000 metric tons since it was established. The next thing we find is that if this cargo is received in Total tank, it will become an arrangement where Platon will be bringing crude oil for Total to refine on tolling basis. And so clarity, transparency is very important this time, so that the Ghanaians can assure themselves that the new arrangement that we envisage will have value for money. We are certain that this is the intention of government go to oil program. And so government must come clear on this.
At least for now, because the cargo, in essence and in reality, practically has still been detained now because he still hasn't been discharged. Although we now have evidence that the Tamaho refinery analysis have already been done, quality control certificate of analysis have already been done. The MPA, as we know now, you confirm that they're yet to give authorization for his discharge. That tells me that this is being looked into, because of course we know the port of loading to be Kazakhstan. That definitely should give some cause, I guess, for some slight comfort, because the authorities are looking into this before they discharge it into the tanks. That then will make it even more complicated once that is done.
Even not at all. You see, it's intriguing that when the planner of Lekan, the MPA, has not captured clearly that we're expecting a cargo from this source, and the cargo arrives, and you get state actors like Tor quickly go aboard the vessel and take sample. When it's not part of Lekan, it becomes quite questionable. Is it that this was planned on the blind side of the MPA? So we should be careful. It arrived Friday night. Quickly, same evening, sample was taken. Analysis was conducted on Saturday. Every personality, every state institution or private institution under the downstream petroleum sector must begin to abide by the tenets and plans and the rules of engagement that the MPA regulates and monitors. We cannot be doing things arbitrary. Now we know that, yes, MPA has not given the clearance. Pre-briefing meeting is yet to be, held. So we are monitoring the space. I'm sure this is still a developing story, like you mentioned yesterday. We can only wait.
Nana, thank you very much. Nana Moisi is with the Institute for Energy Securities, and you can details of this on myjoyonline.com also. And now that we know the port of origin for this particular crude that came in, and authorities have confirmed the ship is actually here, but they haven't given authorization yet for it to discharge its cargo. Still here on Top Story on Joy 99.7 FM. Another major story we are following for you today. There was initially disappointment in government circles when officials of the finance ministry were forced to postpone a critical meeting to China to negotiate a debt relief. But in the last couple of days, government appears to have caught a break. Top officials of the Chinese Exim Bank flew into town over the weekend for showdown talks over Ghana's indebtedness to China. Ghana owes China $1.7 billion. And without a deal between government and China, Ghana will struggle and will be unable to access the critically needed $3.3 billion bailout from IMF. Now, Ghana's Western creditors have made it clear they will not help if Ghana cannot strike a deal with China. Here's the German ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Crude, speaking at a news conference last week.
We agreed on terms. And if we allow China to sideline this process, then it's the end of the common framework, because it's not common anymore. And yes, it's about fairness in the process. So if we are willing to delay the debt payment from Ghana, what is Ghana using this fiscal space for? And we would consider it as unfair if that would be used to serve the debt to someone who is not willing to be part of the aid package for Ghana. We would think that is not fair, and I think that is also not in the interest of Ghana. So it's not about it's less about fear; it's more about fairness. At this point of time, it is really the question on how to convince particular China to come to the table. That is the key question right now. Because all the others, I mean, the Paris Club members have agreed; they are ready. But again, they are not willing to lower their request to Ghana, and with this financing the debts of China. I mean, must be understandable for everybody. So we are ready to negotiate, but only if all the other creditors are taking up their responsibility in the same way.
Well, President Akufo-Addo has, in the last 24 hours, been meeting representatives of the diplomatic community in Ghana, and he did not mince words, asking for their help with the Chinese negotiations. He, however, failed to address the key conditions the German ambassador had laid out, including a reduction in government expenditure.
We acknowledge the reality of the fact that our economy is in considerable difficulty. The budget drawn for the 2022 fiscal year was thrown out of gear, disrupting our balance of payments and debt sustainability, and further exposing the structural weaknesses of our economy. We have gone to the International Monetary Fund to repair in the short term our public finances and restore our balance of payments, while we continue to work on the medium to long-term structural changes that are at the heart of our goal of constructing a resilient, robust Ghanaian economy. Just as we managed to achieve a staff-level agreement with the fund in record time in December last year, whose terms we are systematically fulfilling, including the difficult but ultimately highly successful process of the domestic debt exchange program. I'm confident that with the cooperation we are receiving from members of the Paris Club and the People's Republic of China, which has sent a delegation from China's Exim Bank to Accra over the weekend to meet with officials of the Ministry of Finance, we shall be able to go to the board of the fund to conclude finally the agreement by the end of March. This will set the stage for the strong recovery of Ghana's economy. Needless to say, we would hope that all Ghana's friends would weigh in with words of support at the fund.
And we've learned today that the top Chinese Exim Bank officials have had another round of critical talks with the government and the financial ministry officials today. We have more on this on Newsnight in a minute.